Hi there, welcome back to my kitchen. Today I really want to share with you my favorite chocolate candy preparation. I have a sweet tooth and I also eat keto, so I kind of came up with a way to satisfy both. So what I do is take a bar of unsweetened chocolate and microwave that. I typically like to make several batches of this, so I'm going to show you how to make a batch, kind of the proportions that go together for one batch, but you can double it or triple it or however much you want to make. But if you take just one box of this first and microwave it for 1 minute, take it out, stir it up, and only 30 seconds at a time after that, maybe once or twice at the very most, because if you do chocolate too much in the microwave, it will seize up and it's ruined. So give that a shot and we'll get started. Okay, so this is melted up, it's nice and runny. What I like to do is just kind of a ballpark. I don't have exact measurements for this, but what I like to do is per box of Baker's chocolate, the magic number is 4. So I'll do 4 tablespoons of coconut oil. I'll do 4 tablespoons of Baker's cocoa powder, and then 4 tablespoons of my sweetener of choice. I prefer, hands down, monk fruit. Sometimes I'll add a little bit of Sweet and Low because those work best with my stomach, and they sweeten really well. So 4 is the number to add into 1 box. So if you're going to double it or triple it, do it accordingly. But this is what it looks like. It's nice and runny, and I'm going to add in the coconut oil and let that melt down with the hot chocolate. So we'll get back to that after that. Okay, so we're ready to put all the extra ingredients in now. So here we've got the chocolate and the coconut oil all blended in. Sometimes the coconut oil is a bit chunky, so you just keep stirring. Might need to microwave it just, a couple more seconds. But when that's all smooth, then you take your cocoa, which is, remember, 4 tablespoons per box of chocolate bar. You dump that in. I take 4 tablespoons of my monk fruit sweetener. You can use xylitol, you can use swerve, you can use Sweet and Low, you can use sugar, whatever it is you choose, but like I say, I prefer the monk fruit. So I take that and just carefully stir it in, because that cocoa powder really can kind of spray around. So just mix that until it's completely incorporated. You don't want any powderiness in. Oh gosh, I guess. Can you see that? There we go. I'm working on my camera angles, so be patient with me. I'll get a rhythm to this, but this is just such a staple in my house for having sweets available. I actually keep it in my freezer, and then I can just grab a couple anytime I want for just a quick little sweet fix. So because the sweetener is kind of grainy, I make sure that I stir it really, really well. So hopefully it'll dissolve as much as possible. But to be honest, a little bit of crunch when you bite into the chocolate is kind of part of the enjoyment of it. So looks like this is pretty good. See that? So it's nice and smooth. It's pretty runny. It will get a little bit thicker when we add in the flavorings, because especially if we're using artificial vanilla flavoring, imitation, it tends to dry out because it's got alcohol in it, so it tends to seize up the chocolate just a little bit, so it'll thicken it. So I usually add vanilla no matter what, and then there's any variety of flavorings that you can add to it. I've done almond flavoring, I've done mint flavoring, those are both really good. I've done cherry, banana, coconut, orange. Sometimes that's a chocolate that the chocolate shops make, the orange chocolate. Anyway, today what we're going to do is salted caramel. That's my current favorite. So I've got the Himalayan pink sea salt and a caramel extract that we're going to use. when you add the sweetener, when you add the flavoring, remember it's just to your taste. You can just experiment and just add a little bit at a time. The cocoa is usually, at the end I might add a little bit more, just depending on how runny it is. This is a little bit too runny to my taste because I'm gonna pour them into chocolate mold, or into candy molds afterwards, and it's gonna be just too runny. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a few things set up and we'll get right back to you. Okay, so it's all stirred up, and I'm going to go ahead and add in my caramel extract. I'm gonna use about like a teaspoonful, and a teaspoonful of vanilla, both. I love vanilla in pretty much anything baked or sweet, but so then it's kind of just eyeballing it to see how thick it gets when adding those flavorings in. And that actually looks pretty good. Then it's just kind of a guessing game as far as how much you prefer for the flavoring. I'm gonna go ahead and taste that. Yeah, I like the caramel to really be present, so I'm gonna put another little smidgen in there. And then we're gonna get set up to pour into the molds. Also, I tasted it before and it wasn't quite sweet enough to my taste, so I just added a couple packets of Sweet and Low too. I'm okay with Sweet and Low. I know a lot of people don't eat it, or they like to eat everything organic, but I guess I'm just not that pure yet. But this recipe that I'm making right now is completely keto, so it's definitely a keto treat that I go to frequently. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get those candy molds set up, and I'll show you how I get those ready to go into the freezer. Okay, the last step is to get these candy molds filled. I like to err on the side of small portions, because then it's a little bit more of a treat for me to have like, two instead of one if I've got a sweet tooth. So I just fill up a teaspoonful and drizzle it in the candy mold, and that really is enough. Also, I forgot to mention, just completely according to your own taste, I did do a couple sprinkles of the Himalayan sea salt in there, and just enough to get a little bit of salt flavor in with that caramel flavor. It's just, it's so good. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and fill these up. We'll get them put in I put them in on a cookie sheet tray, just all my molds in the freezer, and then just let them sit for, I don't know, just 15 minutes or so, and then they're good to go to put in Ziploc bags, and then I store my chocolate candies in Ziplocs in the freezer. So that's about it. I'll post a couple pictures also for you to see. So give it a try. If you have any questions, be sure to message me. Thanks.